What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the yard. First lawn video of the year 2023, and I wanted to kind of walk and talk with you. So this is one of the first days that I'm getting out into the yard and doing some things. The day is April 14th, and I wanted to explain kind of what I'm doing and why I chose right now to get out. And then I also wanted to explain kind of the alternate. Let me walk away from the noisemakers here. I wanted to explain one of the alternate routes that I could have taken at this point in the lawn, and then wanted to finish the video by showing you a little tip of something I'm working with today. So just kind of show you where we finished off last year. We obviously have lots of bald patches. Reason being is, if you remember, I was pretty short on seed when I did my renovation and seeding project last year, and so that's the reason we're pretty short. And that I can explain what I'm planning to do. I'm planning to put down more seed this year, and as I mentioned, there's an alternate route that I could have taken. So I could have just let it go, not seeded, and waited until the fall to do an overseed again. Reason being is the fall is a much better time to overseed, with temperatures being a little more steady. I'm not going to worry about huge amounts of rain for the most part washing my seed out, and huge fluctuations in temperature. For example, if I were to seed right now where my soil temps are good, I'm over 50 degrees, so I'm good to seed. The problem is right now is 85, and the low for tomorrow, after heavy thunderstorms and rain, the low is 35 and a chance of flurries. And so that's just a one-day example of the fluctuations that we're experiencing. And we're supposed to have, I think, an inch or more, I haven't really looked at the amounts, but days worth of rain. And so now let me explain the other path that I'm planning to take. So that's if I were to seed right now, and we'll see how that goes. The other path that I could take is to leave it alone and go ahead and put down some fertilizer. What I ended up with was one of the products I tested at the end of last year, and that's a Scott's 3-in-1, I think triple action they call it, product. And that's going to control my crabgrass, which I've got an issue with. So it's got a little bit of a pre-emergent in there, and then it's also going to take care of just the standard broadleaf weeds like what we're dealing with up here. And the reason that we're dealing with weeds is because you can't really put down fertilizer for the most part, or weed killer for the most part, with a seeding project at the same time, because it's just going to kill your new grass. And because I did my overseed so late in the fall last year, it was too late for that lawn to get established enough to where I could put down fertilizer with any success. And so that's why we're seeing some weeds here, because there was nothing there to control those. And that's the other route that I could go, is to put that down now and just hope that the grass spreads. The thing with this perennial rye that I went with is it's not a real great spreading grass. It's more of a clumping grass, versus over at the shop I've got an all Kentucky bluegrass lawn where that is a spreading grass, and it spreads through a dense root system underground, and so it's actually going to work at all times other than when it's dormant in the summertime, of course. But anyway, so where I'm at now is kind of, I haven't decided which way to go, and so what I'm doing today is strictly putting down an application of Milorganite, because that's going to be safe whether I decide to seed or not. I want to get that down either way. I do also have a bag of Scott's Triple Action that I picked up, but I'm choosing not to put that down today because we're planning on a little bit of a landscaping project here where we're going to run across and back and get rid of this curve where there were these bushes that we took out. We're going to cut those stumps down, remove the edging, and knock all that dirt down, and then plant it. And so I'm thinking, if I'm going to plant that anyway, that I might go ahead and buy enough seed to overseed the rest of the lawn and just kind of risk it and see what happens, as long as I keep it watered well and really watch the weather to make sure that I can get away with it. So we'll see what happens. I think that's the way that I'm leaning, and so that's why I'm going with just the Milorganite today. I'm going with a single 2,500 square foot bag for the front yard only. And so what my process and thought process has been for today is we've got rain coming starting tonight and then all day tomorrow. And so I wanted to make sure to get it down so that I can take advantage of the rain to really water it in. I also went ahead and did my first mow on everything except the very front, because that's just in pretty bad shape. If you remember from last year, that's where I had the least amount of seed remaining, and I had a lot of washout that occurred next to this tree. So I did do my mow because I wanted to make sure I get the Milorganite down in there real good and that I get the maximum amount of water to the root of the grass as possible. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and finish putting that down. I'll show you the little trick that I'm using, and then the plan is next week, after the rain's gone through and softened things up, to go over it with my roller. I'm gonna go ahead and roll it, try to flatten it out as best as I can when it's soft and wet, and then we'll see what happens. That might be a good time to seed as well, but I just haven't decided yet. So if you have any suggestions as far as the seeding goes, leave those down in the comments. I'd appreciate it. So we'll go over, put the dogs inside, and I'll show you that tip. Okay, so here's my tip. This is my Scott's Turf Builder hand spreader. It's about a $10 or $15 spreader. Had this for a number of years and I don't use it a whole lot. I've also got a drop spreader for seeding purposes, but I don't have a broadcast spreader, and I've just kind of been holding off on buying one. There's a really cool, nice stainless one that would be really cool, but it's very expensive. So I brought this out today to spread the Milorganite, and this thing will kill your hand. These actually come in cordless battery now because it's just such a killer. This hand on the crank isn't so bad, but in my experience it's this hand holding this and trying to fight it as you're cranking, and it's just a real pain. So what I did is real simple. I just took a flat screwdriver and pried that handle off of there, went ahead and took my cordless drill and tightened it down on the shaft, and this thing is pretty slick. So I'll try my best to set the camera up and show you how well it works. Alright, we'll see what you can see from here. I don't have a whole lot left in there at the moment, but check this out. So one thing you're going to want to make sure to do is put your drill down on first speed if you have the option. Shift the clutch here from second to first and just be very light and slow and gentle on the trigger, because this thing is not designed to really spin this fast. And if you want to, I haven't really thought much about it, but you can pop this cover off and put a spot of grease on the plastic gears. But I thought it was a pretty cool little hack. So thanks a lot for watching, and look forward to seeing you in the lawn on the next video.